Bjarne Arnulf Nerem, the 31st of July 1923 in Oslo, Norway. The 1st of April 1991 in Oslo, was a Norwegian jazz musician, tenor saxophone, alto saxophone and clarinet, known from several recordings, and was among the absolute foremost soloists in Norwegian jazz. He was a very talented musician in the tradition of Lester Young, Stan Getz and jazz in the 1950s. Nerem achieved international recognition for his performances. Career. Nerem started his career playing clarinet during World War II, and participated on an album with Syv Munter, 1943, and participated, among others, within Roland Greenberg's ensembles. He eventually went over to the tenor and alto saxophone, and started in 1947 a more than 20 years career in Stockholm, Sweden, where he became one of the first bebop performers and quickly became one of Sweden's most renowned. First in the orchestras of Thorgjedarby and Santa Skog, 1947–49. After 3 years within Carl Westby's orchestra at Rainbow, Oslo, Nerem went into several Swedish bands including with Simon Brem, 1952–1954, and Harry Arnold's Radio Band, 1956. In recent years he has also played within Carl-Henrik Norren's band, 1968–71, and on releases by Overlind, Silja Blue Nielsen, Lasse On Domneris, Monica Zetterlund, Thor Erling and Nils Lindberg. The period culminated with the album How Long Has This Been Going On? 1971. Nerem returned to Norway in 1973 and led his own Bjarne Nerem Kvartet, releasing the album Everything Happens to Me, 1976. Awarded Spelleman Prisen 1976. They also released This Is Always, 1984, and contributed in Nerem's solo album More Than You Know, 1987. Furthermore, figured Nerem on releases with Karen Krogh, 1974, Sandvika Storband, 1980, and Christian Bergheim, The Rainbow Sessions, 1990. Internationally, he collaborated with Kenny Davin and Flip Phillips, 1987, Al Gray, Al Meets Bjarne, 1988, Honors, Gillian Skiven, 1971, For How Long Has This Been Going On? Spelleman Prisen 1976 in the class Jazz, For Everything Happens to Me, Buddy Prisen, 1980, Oslo BYS Kunstnerpris, 1983, Gamleng Prison in the class Jazz, 1987, Discography, in selection, solo albums, 1971, How Long Has This Been Going On? Odeon Records, 1987, More Than You Know, Gemini Records, within his own quartet, 1976, Everything Happens to Me, Gemini Records, 1984, This Is Always, Gemini Records, Portrait Albums, 2001, Portrait of a Norwegian Jazz Artist, Oslo Jazz Circles, recordings from 1962–80, 2006, Embraceable You, Oslo Jazz Circles, recordings from 1984–88, 2008, Bjarne Nerem, The Big Band Sessions, 1956–65, Oslo Jazz Circles, 2008, Bjarne Nerem, The Small Band Sessions, 1955–76, Oslo Jazz Circles, Collaborative Works, 1971, Happy Jazz, Gazelle, within Overlind Quintet, Feat. Monica Zetterlund, 1974, George Gershwin plus Karen Krogh, Polydor, 1988, Mood Indigo, Gemini Records, Trio with Kenny Davin and Flip Phillips, 1988, Al Meets Bjarne, Gemini Records, with Al Gray, A Sideman, with Benny Bailey and R.K. Person. Quincy, Here We Come. Metronome. 1959. Also released as the music of Quincy Jones. Argo. With Stan Getz. Imported from Europe. Verve. 1958. With Roy Haynes. Jazz Abroad. MRC. 1955. With Quincy Jones. Quincy's Home Again. Metronome. 1958. Also released as Harry Arnold plus Big Band plus Quincy Jones equals Jazz. MRC. Bjarne Nerem Biography on Store Norsk Lexikon.